Hello students, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Again, it depends upon your timings when you are just seeing this lecture. So today, what we are going to discuss? We are going to discuss about the course of civil disobedience movement. In last class, we have discussed how the civil disobedience movement had begun. With the Salt March, Gandhi had started the civil disobedience movement. We saw how people ranging from different caste, language, religion, culture, region, they all had joined the movement. Once Gandhi started that 240 historical march up to Dandi to break salt law, millions of people joined Gandhi. And then after, a mass movement had started. This mass movement, means civil disobedience movement, is somehow different from non-cooperation. If you remember, we have discussed about the difference between the non-cooperation movement and civil disobedience movement. So you refer that particular point, how the civil disobedience movement is different from non-cooperation. As far as mass participation is concerned, women participation is concerned, and very importantly, in this particular movement, people have been asked to break the law deliberately. What kind of laws? Unjust rulings that have been given by the British government in India. Once the movement had started, from both the sides, means from Indians and from the side of the British government, both they were just trying very much hard to keep their side up. What I mean to say that at one side, Gandhi and Congress was trying to mobilize more and more people for the sake of civil disobedience movement, to strengthen the movement, to make the movement sharper and sharper. At the other side, British government was also introduced a number of brutal suppressive measures. In due course of time, now a number of clashes were reported against the atrocities committed by the British government, their officials, the police, the military. Now, satyagrahis were arrested in very large numbers. Thousands and thousands of satyagrahis were arrested. Women, children, they were beaten. And due to such kind of suppressive nature of British policies, a number of occasions there were clashes, violent clashes between the common people, between the satyagrahis also and the police also. And the intensity of such clashes were increasing day by day. So now Gandhi was realizing that it might be possible any major violent incident may take place that as it had happened at Chauri Chaura. This was one of the fear. Second, when the civil disobedience movement was started, people had participated with a great enthusiasm, but again, still Indians were not ready for continuation or prolongation of the movement. The movement began with the Salt March in 1930, April 1930. And after passing 1 year, it has been felt that Indians were losing their patience. Different groups like businessmen, workers, traders, industries, they gradually losing their momentum. So at one side, the condition of India was just becoming grimmer and grimmer. In the background of such conditions, such kind of sentiments that Indians were having, as the participation and the momentum were just going slow and slow and slow, in such condition, Gandhi realized that it's a time to have a pause. Just take a pause. Means take rest for a while to recharge the movement. At the other side, the British government was also felt that this time is very much difficult to control the intensity of movement. So both the parties, means the Indian National Congress and the British government, both were having their own consequences. Both they were having their own reasons to have such kind of agreement, due to which this movement can be just stopped or called off, or the movement may be just given a pause or suspended. In that particular context, there was a Gandhi-Irving Pact in year 1931. This we have discussed already. According to the Gandhi-Irving Pact, if you are remembering, it has been decided that Gandhi, representing Congress, will take part in the second round table conference going to be held in London, and Gandhi will suspend the movement, means giving a pause to the movement. At the other side, the British government has agreed to stop suppressive measures, and second, to release all the political prisoners. So under these particular circumstances, the movement was suspended and Gandhi went to take part in the second round table conference. My dear students, remember, the movement has not been called off. Actually, the movement was given a pause or suspended. Even though I have written over here calling off the movement. Sorry for that. So calling off over here doesn't mean a movement has been just vanished. The movement was still there, but it was suspended. Suspended. Reasons, if you have been asked the reason on that time, I have explained. Both the parties are having their own reasons. From the side of Indians, violent clashes in many places and police firings, peaceful sectarian attack, women and children beaten and thousands arrested, and many Congress leaders including Gandhi and Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. He was also arrested. Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan was a great disciple of Gandhi and operating in the northwest frontier region. So he was also arrested. So one question may be asked. Name the leader of Congress arrested from the northwest frontier during the civil movement. You have to write about the Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. One more question may be asked. So under these circumstances, the movement has been suspended and Gandhi went to London to take part in the second round table conference. But what had happened? Actually, in second round table conference, Gandhi got nothing. Gandhi felt that British were having their own plan. The plan to divide Indian society. Plan to again show their cards that was based upon divide and rule. In that particular second round table conference, there were a number of issues on which Congress were having their own considerations. British government was not ready to consider the demands of Congress. Rather, British government was trying to just divide the Indian society and weaken the freedom struggle of India. Due to that, the second round table conference had been boycotted by Gandhi, and Gandhi again returned to India. continuing with its brutal suppressive measures. Even though the movement was suspended, but the British government was still following this suppressive measure. It was the violation of Gandhi-Irving Pact. Second, all the political prisoners were not released. So what Gandhi felt in the second round table conference? It was a kind of a foul play by the British government over there, trying to divide the society and weaken the Indian freedom struggle. And in India, Gandhi felt that the British government had not acted according to the Gandhi-Irving Pact. Keeping these facts in mind, once Gandhi reached in India, Gandhi relaunched the civil disobedience movement. The second phase of the movement starts after the failure of second round table conference from 1932 to 1934. Now, this way, the movement got two phases. One phase before signing the Gandhi-Irving Pact, and second phase once Gandhi returned back from London to India. In these two phases, the participation of common people in the movement had been changed. There were a number of factors that affect the participation of people in the first phase of the movement and the second phase of the movement. In short, once the movement was started, in its first phase, there was a great enthusiasm in India and among Indians. People rallied around Gandhi and Congress. They started the civil disobedience movement, breaking salt law. Swadeshi boycott was as usual practice, as it was the integral part of the all Gandhi movement. So there was a great enthusiasm. But in the second phase, when the movement had relaunched, the movement lost its momentum gradually. So now we will discuss how participants saw the movement, how different groups of Indians participated in the movement, and how they took the meaning of movement. In that connection, you have to also remember about the 11-fold demand that Gandhi had given to Lord Irwin before starting the civil disobedience movement. If you remember, Gandhi had made that 11-fold demand very comprehensive, very flexible, and comprising two different natures of demand. Some demands are related to general interest, some demands are related to just related to a specific interest related to a particular group or community. For example, when Gandhi was raising the demand reduction in land revenue, Gandhi was addressing the farmers. When Gandhi was demanding just reduction in taxes on the goods, he was talking about the interest of the industrialists. When Gandhi was raising the issue that the goods coming from Britain to India should be taxed, again he was talking about the interest of the industrialists and businessmen. So Gandhi had prepared that 11-fold demand in such a way that different communities of India should associate themselves with Gandhi and Congress demand. So once the movement has started, all these different groups participated in the movement as they saw that this movement has been launched for protecting their interests, for providing better facilities for them. But what had happened when movement was relaunched? They also lose their faith. So now we will discuss about those facts, how participants saw the movement. So student, Next we are going to discuss the participation. Now students, see, the next topic that we are going to start, how participants saw the movement. Before that, one thing remember, you may be asked why did Gandhi relaunch the movement? So we have just discussed that once Gandhi reached to India, what he felt, that the arresting was going on, political business has not been released, so it was goes against the Gandhi Review Act and what had happened in second round table conference, all clubbed together, and it has been compelled Gandhi to relaunch. One more thing that you have to add while writing the answer of that question, even the Congress was also declared illegal. So this was the suppressive measures. So now we are going to see how participants saw the movement. The first group that we have taken to discuss, that is rich peasants. Rich peasants means I am talking about landlords or the big farmers. For example, Patidars of Gujarat and Jats of Uttar Pradesh. They were the rich farmers, landlords. What I have said, we will be discussing about 1140 demand of Gandhi. Gandhi included demands of different communities of India so that the movement should become wide supported. So, for peasants, for landlord, the movement was against the high revenue. Landlords had to pay high revenue to the British Treasury. If you remember, British had introduced three different kinds of land settlement in India, namely permanent settlement, Rayatwari, Mahalwari. So, in nutshell, landlords were compelled to pay high land revenue. So, for them, it was a struggle against the high revenue, and Gandhi was also raised this demand in 11-fold demand. So, this group was very much feeling uncomfortable in economic crisis as they were also suffered due to the depression. If you remember, there was a great economic depression. It started in 1929 with the collapse of the American world market or American share market. So this was the condition. So due to that, falling price was there. So they were not getting the price of their crops, their productions. So they were unable to pay the taxes. So they were feeling that there must be some sort of reduction. But even in such condition, British government has not just given any kind of relaxation. What I mean to say? I mean to say that they had not decreased their revenue demand. Means they have to pay the taxes even on a number of occasions they raise the demand. For this situation, even landlords were feeling very much uncomfortable, very much difficulty to pay that revenue demand. So they had participated in the movement as they felt that after the movement they were not paid a high revenue demand. Sorry. But when Gandhi relaunched the movement, in first stage of the movement, in first stage of movement, they were participated with great enthusiasm. But after the failure of the second roundtable conference, when the movement was relaunched, in this time, this group, landlords, were not participated with the same momentum. They were trying themselves aloof, keeping aloof from the movement. They were trying to sideline themselves from the movement. Why? Because they were not ready for the prolongation of the movement. For them, prolongation of movement means difficulties of their business, difficulties of their functioning, difficulties of their working. They were unable to just get the things or sell those things and get good prices because the demand was already decreased in the world market. And due to the movement, they were unable to sell their products in the markets too, because British government was started the suppressive measures. Number two, they were also very much feeling a kind of fear. What kind of fear? They were feeling very much uncomfortable with the rise of the socialism in Congress. New leadership under the leadership of Subhash Chandra Bose and Jawaharlal Nehru, they were convinced very much with the idea of socialism. And socialism always emphasized upon that resources must be distributed equally. And landlords were having this big piece of land. So they felt that this rise of new leadership in the Congress might goes against the interest of these big landlords. So for two reasons. Number one, for the prolongation of movement that going to disturb their functioning, and second, with the rise of new leadership among the Congress, they were feeling very much fear that they might going to lose the land. So this was the fear under that circumstances. When the movement was relaunched, they were kept themselves aloof. Means their participation become lesser and lesser. Now, with this particular reference, when we are talking about rich peasant landlords, we have to see the second phase of the same coin, and that is the poor peasants. This one was rich peasants, landlords, and now we are talking about poor peasants. Poor peasant means the small farmers or landless laborers, those who are working on the other side. They were also very much suffered like the rich peasants. Rich peasants were paying taxes to the British government, while these poor peasants were paying the taxes to the landlords. These poor peasants do not have direct connection to the rich peasants. Direct connection to the British government. They were paying taxes to them, and rich peasants were paying taxes to British government. So now they were also feeling uncomfortable or feeling difficulties to pay the revenue demands to the big landlords. Of this situation, they were also looking this movement, that this movement may allow them not pay taxes to landlords. Rich peasants or the landlords were wishing that the revenue demand from the British government shall be reduced, while poor peasants feeling difficulties to pay the revenue demands, now they were just demanding about no tax campaign. No tax campaign means they should not be compelled to pay taxes. Means tax नहीं देना पड़े, कर नहीं देंगे। किसको? लैंडलॉर्ड्स को टैक्स नहीं देंगे। गौर कीजिएगा, इनको टैक्स देना है ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट को, इनको टैक्स देना है लैंडलॉर्ड्स को। इनकी डिमांड बढ़ेगी, इन्होंने इतनी डिमांड बढ़ा दी। ये सबसे ज्यादा परेशान है क्योंकि इनको इनकी उपज की कीमत नहीं मिल रही है, सामान इनके नहीं बिक पा रहे। तो ये नो टैक्स कैंपेन की बात करते हैं, यही पे मसला है। Congress was never given support to the demand of no tax campaign. If you remember, during the non-cooperation movement, Awadh Kisan Sabha, Baba Ramchandra also demanded about the no tax campaign. But Gandhi and Congress was unwilling to support this demand. In that scenario, we have discussed why Congress was reluctant to support the demand of no tax campaign. Do you remember? No? Okay, no problem. Again, I am giving you the hint. A number of landlords were financing Congress movement, and as well as a number of landlords were also the member of Congress. One thing I would like to mention over here, there were a group of landlords, those who were having their notion with the Congress, they were supporting Congress and they were financing Congress. In that scenario, there was a kind of difficulties for Congress if they support no tax campaign. So in that scenario, peasants will not pay taxes to landlords, even though there were a number of landlords, those who were very much suppressive. They were just collecting the taxes with great brutal suppression. But there were a number of landlords, those who were very much kind, are supporting Congress. So, supporting the demand of no tax campaign means Congress had to deprive the donations that the finance that Congress is getting from those rich peasants. The Congress never supported, and in that scenario, what had happened? Sorry. What had happened? These poor peasants were not very much enthusiastic to support the civil disobedience movement. There is a contradiction. Remember, the interest of landlords and poor peasants never be same. ये दो ऐसे वर्ग हैं जिनके हित हमेशा विरोधी होंगे. दोनों के हित, दोनों का उद्देश्य भारत की आजादी है, परंतु दोनों के जो मेथड्स हैं वो अलग अलग हो जा रहे हैं. और यही समस्या है. जहां ये चाहते हैं कि रेवेन्यू डिमांड जो देते हैं वो अंग्रेजों को वो कम हो जाए, वहां ये चाहते हैं कि इनको टैक्स न देना पड़े. ये टैक्स इनको देंगे, ये अंग्रेजों को देंगे. कांग्रेस की मजबूरी है कि इनके साथ बहुत एक बड़ी ग्रुप है रिच पीजेंट्स की, लैंडलॉर्ड्स की, जो इनको सपोर्ट करती है, फाइनेंस करती है. अगर किसानों के, गरीब मजदूरों के, जिसे पीजेंट्स को कहते हैं, खेतीहर मजदूर, उनकी डिमांड को मान लिया नो टैक्स कैंपेन को, तो इनके पास टैक्स नहीं जाएगा, तो इनके पास रेवेन्यू नहीं होगी, तो कांग्रेस की फाइनेंस करेगी. तो आपने देखा कि यहाँ रिच पीजेंट्स लेटर हाफ में, सेकंड फेज में वो क्या हो रही है, अलूफ कर रही है अपने आप को. इधर पीजेंट्स क्या हो रहे हैं, कांग्रेस के साथ एसोसिएट नहीं कर पा रहे. क्यों? क्योंकि उन्हें लगता है द पुअर पीजेंट्स फील दैट कांग्रेस इज सपोर्टिंग द डिमांड ऑफ लैंडलॉर्ड्स. तो जहां लैंडलॉर्ड्स होंगे वहां पुअर पीजेंट्स नहीं होंगे, स्मॉल फार्मर्स नहीं होंगे. क्योंकि ये दो विरोधी वर्ग हैं, दो ऐसे वर्ग हैं जिनके हितों में हमेशा विरोधाभास. तो आप देख सकते हैं ये लिमिटेशंस ऑफ सिविल डिसोबीडियंस मूवमेंट भी हो सकता है. ये पूछा जा सकता है, यहां से सवाल पूछा जाता है कि व्हाई डिड द सिविल डिसोबीडियंस मूवमेंट हैज नॉट supported by the rich peasants when it was relaunched, or why did poor peasants or small farmers kept themselves aloof from the civil disobedience movement. तो बेसिक नो टैक्स कैंपेन को कांग्रेस द्वारा रिजेक्ट करना और कांग्रेस का रिच पीजेंट के साथ खड़ा दिखना, ये पुअर पीजेंट्री के लिए बिल्कुल ही एक्सेप्टेड नहीं. तो बच्चों अब हम आगे पढ़ेंगे दो अलग ग्रुप को. फिर से वो ग्रुप होगा कौन, एक इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट का और दूसरा होगा इंडस्ट्रियल वर्कर्स का. यहां भी इन दोनों के बीच में क्या होगा, हितों का टकराव. तो अब देखेंगे कि क्या ये दोनों वर्ग इस मूवमेंट में शामिल हुए तो किस रूप में, और इनकी क्या क्या डिमांड थी, क्या क्या उम्मीदें थी, और क्या उनकी उम्मीदें पूरी हुई. यहां तो स्पष्ट है कि रिच पीजेंट्स की डिमांड पूरी नहीं हुई. जब यूनियन बैक हुआ, मूवमेंट को सस्पेंड किया, तो टैक्सेस को रिड्यूस नहीं किया गया, कुछ नहीं हुआ. तो इनके दिल में ये बात है कि अरे हमने सपोर्ट किया, फाइनेंस किया, लेकिन हुआ क्या, हुआ ये हो रहा है कि गांधी ने मूवमेंट को सस्पेंड कर दिया बिना हमारी किसी डिमांड को माने हुए. तो इनके दिल में भी वो बात थी, और ये तो शुरू से ही इनसे अलग चल रहे थे. इन्हें लगा था कि कांग्रेस मतलब जमींदारों की बात है. तो ये चीजें अब आगे भी चलेगी जब हम बात करेंगे इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट की और बात करेंगे इंडस्ट्रियल वर्कर की. Students, now the next group that has participated in the movement are the business communities and second industrial workers. So see, again, what had happened? What kind of reactions the business communities have shown, and what kind of reaction and participation the industrial workers have shown in course of the civil disobedience movement. business communities had supported the movement when the movement was first launched, but they were kept aloof when it was relaunched. Why? Why this movement was supported in first stage but not supported in the second stage? The reason is that the business communities supported the movement as they felt that Congress and Gandhi was raising their demand. Their demand was the protection against imports and fixed exchange ratio. Means protection against imports means the goods coming from England to India, it was sold in India at lower prices than the Indian goods. So in that particular scenario, they were wishing that such kind of imports must be reduced, and over here, rupee sterling ratio means exchange ratio. उनके रुपए उनकी करेंसी की कीमत और हमारे करेंसी की कीमत में एक समरूपता होनी चाहिए. इंडियन करेंसी हैज बीन डीवैल्यूएटेड, जिसके कारण इंडियंस को अपने सामानों की कीमत अपेक्षाकृत कम मिल रही थी, जबकि उनके लिए हमें अधिक पैसा पे करना पड़ता था. And due to that, the business community was facing great difficulties. So this was their main demand. In that scenario, while just supporting the movement and opposing the British government, Indian business communities had formed two business groups, that is Indian Industrial and Commercial Congress 1921. Please underline it, note down separately. This is the question that is going to be asked. It may be asked in your examination, not only for board examination, in MPSC also. This examination will, this question can be asked. On and off, this has been asked. And second group that was established, it was Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industries 1921. It is called FICCI. आज भी है ये दो ग्रुप, ये याद रखेंगे आपको. तो ये वास्तव में in course of participating in the civil disobedience movement and just putting resistance against the British government, these two industries communities, two groups, two associations were formed. Now, in first half, they participated as they felt. After the movement, what they will got? They will got protection against import, and they will also get good exchange rate between Indian currency and the British currency. But when Gandhi-Irving Pact was signed, they got nothing. They haven't got anything, no demand, as we have already seen the provisions stated in the Gandhi-Irving Pact. There was nothing. It was only about participation of Congress in the second roundtable conference and just giving a pause or suspending the civil disobedience movement. So they felt that they continued in the movement for more than 1 year, but they haven't got anything. And Gandhi, without considering their interest, just suspended the movement and went to London. Once Gandhi returned back and relaunched the movement, now they were reluctant to participate in the movement. This time they were just keeping themselves aloof. Again, the same reason that we have discussed when we discussed on the big landlords. They were also very much fearful regarding the prolongation of the movement, as this prolongation of movement disturbed their economic interest. They were unable to sell their goods in the country also. Next one, what kind of problem they were feeling? Again, over here, second roundtable conference के बाद, their interest has been not associated with the interest of Congress, because they become very much fearful. As among the Congress, there were a number of leaders, as I have stated about the Jawaharlal Nehru and Mr. Bose. They were the communists. They were very much convinced with the idea of socialism. And socialism, as we know that it was against the idea of the workers' interest. तो बच्चों ये बात ध्यान रखनी है कि ये जो सोशलिज्म के कारण थी, जिनको ये लगता था सोशलिज्म के कारण उनके जो इंटरेस्ट होंगे, बिजनेस इंटरेस्ट होंगे, वो क्या होंगे? वो हार्मफुल होंगे. इंडस्ट्रीज क्या हो जाएगी? वो प्राइवेटाइजेशन के हाथ से निकल जाएगी, गवर्नमेंट ले लेगी. तो उनको ये फियर था कि सोशलिज्म के कारण उनकी इंडस्ट्रीज के ऊपर खतरा है, उनके स्वामित्व पर खतरा है, तो वो कांग्रेस के साथ खड़े होना नहीं चाहते थे, जबकि ये फाइनेंस करते थे। टू इंपॉर्टेंट नेम आई हैव रिटन, द ग्रुप ऑफ बिजनेसमैन पुरुषोत्तम दास, ठाकुर दास एंड जीडी बिरला, they were financing Congress and their movement a lot and they were supporting. बट अब क्या हुआ सेकंड फेज में, जब उन्हें लगा कि कांग्रेस के अंदर सोशलिज्म पैदा हो रही है, तो ये क्या बात करेंगे, ये बात करेंगे सोशलिस्ट आइडियाज की। They were very much inspired by the Russian Revolution that had happened in 1917 in Russia. So अब उन्हें ये डर है, क्योंकि ये प्राइवेट कैपिटलिस्ट हैं, ये प्राइवेट सेक्टर में काम करने वाले कैपिटलिस्ट हैं और सोशलिज्म इसके जस्ट खिलाफ बात करती है। तो एक डर हो। दूसरा मिलिटेंट एक्टिविटीज, जब भारतवर्ष के अंदर में अब एक नई ग्रुप जो थी रेवोल्यूशनरीज, वो अपनी गतिविधियां बढ़ाते हैं, तो क्या हो रहा है, ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट की सप्रेसिव बिजनेस ज्यादा होंगी। अंडर दैट सर्कमस्टेंसेस इट वाज वेरी मच डिफिकल्ट टू कंटिन्यू देयर बिजनेसेस एंड इंडस्ट्रीज। तो दिस वाज द सिनेरियो। Once the movement was relaunched, they were kept aloof and gradually the movement has lost its momentum. Next group was industrial workers. Business community means industrialists. It was industrialists. So these are industrialists और इसके अगेंस्ट में है ये इंडस्ट्रियल वर्कर्स, यानी मजदूर, औद्योगिक मजदूर। तो यहाँ और इनके बीच में फिर से क्लैश। ये क्या चाहते हैं, ये चाहेंगे गुड वेजेस, ये क्या चाहते हैं, गुड वर्किंग कंडीशन। तो गुड वेजेस और गुड वर्किंग कंडीशन कौन देगा, बिजनेस कम्युनिटी यानी इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट देंगे। इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट को क्या करना पड़ेगा, इसके लिए इनको पे करना पड़ेगा, अधिक खर्च करना पड़ेगा। इस पीरियड में इनके पास वो बचत नहीं है, ये नहीं करना चाहते हैं, वो इतना खर्च नहीं करना चाहते हैं, इनके वर्किंग कंडीशन को इंप्रूवमेंट पे काम नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, इनको वेज नहीं बढ़ा पा रहे हैं। तो क्या होगा, दे नेवर एसोसिएट with Congress as they felt कि Congress has been financed by these business communities, as they felt that Congress is standing with the business communities or industrialists. If industrialists were along with the Congress, how industrial worker could stand with the Congress? Because industrialist workers and industrialists were the two communities having conflicting interests. Congress was very much reluctant to accept the demand of the workers for raising their wages and improving the working condition immediately. It was a part of their long-run objectives. But once during the non-civil disobedience movement, when the industrialist workers were demanding about that, Congress had kept quiet. It did not speak any single word for the interest of the industrial workers. In that condition, what had happened? These industrialist workers were just kept themselves aloof from the movement since beginning. In somewhere, in some pockets, like in Kanpur and all, somewhere mill workers had started the movement, but it was very much confined in a particular area. Industrial workers never be participated in the movement in the whole India. In some pockets they were participated, but their demands were related to just about their low wages and poor working conditions. So these were the contradictions, and these were the obstacles in the path of the civil disobedience movement. तो बच्चों, यहाँ से भी सवाल पूछे जाते हैं आपको, सवाल ये बिजनेस कम्युनिटी, बिजनेस इंडस्ट्रीज के विषय में पूछे जाएंगे कि कौन से इंडस्ट्री से कांग्रेस को फाइनेंस करते थे। दूसरी बात, इनकी डिमांड क्या थी, एक नंबर में वो पूछा जा सकता है। 3 नंबर के क्वेश्चंस में ये सारी बातें पूछी जाती है कि इनकी डिमांड और इनका रिएक्शंस क्या था उस ग्रुप में, यानी कि हाउ डिड द बिजनेस कम्युनिटी और इंडस्ट्रीज पार्टिसिपेटेड इन द सिविल डिसोबीडियंस मूवमेंट। तो यू हैव टू राइट ऑल द थिंग्स। सेकंड, यहां भी हो सकता है, यहां से क्वेश्चन आता है 3 नंबर में यहां पे कि व्हाई डिड industrial worker reluctant to participate in the civil disobedience movement. So you have to write about the all fact that we have discussed. For 1 mark also, I have just explained that the question will be asked from this portion. This important names you have to remember and their foundation name. So next we will see about the participation of women. So students, the last group that had participated in the movement was women. It was a significant thing. During the non-cooperation movement, we have seen the women participation was almost negligible. in the civil disobedience movement, the women had participated in great numbers. But do you know which category of women had participated? As far as in urban area is concerned, in urban areas, women belongs to high caste family. They participate in the movement. And in the urban areas also, in urban areas significantly, in urban area, common women. In urban areas, high caste people, rural areas, almost all group of women. Women belongs to different sections of society in the rural areas, they have participated. Why? There is a reason. Because in urban areas, there is more sense of conservatism as far as women participation. In rural areas, for earning means of livelihood, a woman had to join the male member. She is going to work in a farm. She is working. Not only in the household work, she is also working to raise family income outside the house. So over there, women was not restricted to go out from the house, but in urban areas, there was a restrictions. In common Indian household in urban areas, women are not allowed to go out and just join the movement or live in a public domain. So in high caste Hindu families, those who are very much educated families, they allow their women to be a part of the movement. But nevertheless, in comparison to the non-professional movement, in civil disobedience movement, women participation was a massive participation. That is one significant thing. And it is the success of Gandhi. If you remember, after the withdrawal of non-professional movement, Gandhi was just working in the village for the sake of promotion of women interest and convincing women to be a part of the civil disobedience movement. And he did it. So this time there was a great participation of women. So women have played a significant role during the movement. They have participated in large number. They have also been a part of protest marches, salt marching. They were also participated in the salt marching in Dandi March also. Women have actively participated in picketing foreign clothes shops and liquor shops. जहाँ विदेशी कपड़े बिकते थे, शराब बिकती थी, उन दुकानों को ये पिकेटिंग करती थी, धरना देती थी, उसको घेर करके झगड़ा नहीं करती थी। आज के समय से जोड़िएगा नहीं, बिहार में कई और घटना हुई शराबबंदी के बाद, महिलाओं ने झाड़ू वगैरह को लेकर के उन दुकानों पे हमला कर दिया, शराब बिक रही थी। ये ऐसा नहीं करती थी, ये उसके चारों ओर धरना देती थी, बैठ जाती थी, हड़ताल कर पड़ जाती थी और लोगों को समझाती थी कि आप शराब न पिए। तो इस मामले में एक सोशल रिफॉर्म्स का पार्ट है। गांधी के मूवमेंट में हमेशा से सोशल रिफॉर्म्स के पुट होंगे। तो गांधी का मूवमेंट केवल पॉलिटिकल मूवमेंट नहीं होगा, उसमें सोशल रिफॉर्म्स की बातें होंगी। नेक्स्ट, बिगिन टू सी सर्विस टू द नेशन एज अ सैक्रेड ड्यूटी। और इस मूवमेंट के साथ ही महिलाओं में एक अंतर्दृष्टि विकसित हुई कि एक नेशनलिस्ट मूवमेंट में भाग लेना ये उनकी एक पवित्र ड्यूटी है, पवित्र कर्तव्य है। ये बहुत बड़ा ड्रास्टिक चेंज है इंडियन माइंडसेट में। जिस ट्रेडिशनल इंडियन सोसाइटी में वुमेन को हम पब्लिक लाइफ में जाने की अनुमति नहीं देते हैं, अब महिलाएं घरों के दरवाजे से बाहर निकल करके पार्टिसिपेट कर रही हैं। कई महिलाएं जेल में गए। A large number of women went to jail only because they had participated in the movement. ये तो बात हुई उनकी पार्टिसिपेशन से। बट क्या इस मूवमेंट में उनकी पार्टिसिपेशन ने उनकी स्टेटस को बदला? क्या महिलाओं के प्रति भारतीय समाज का दृष्टिकोण बदला? नहीं। अभी बहुत लंबी यात्रा बाकी थी महिलाओं के सोशल स्टेटस को बदलने की। ये शुरुआत जरूर थी, लेकिन तात्कालिक कोई बदलाव नहीं आया। अभी भी महिलाएं पुरुषों के अधीन ही मानी है, पुरुषों का ही शासन माना गया। महिलाओं को व्यक्तिगत आजादी नहीं थी कि वो खुद चुन सके कि क्या करना है और क्या नहीं करना है। दिस पार्टिसिपेशन वाज आल्सो मेड विद द सपोर्ट of their male counterpart. with their families. One more interesting fact. Once Gandhi had been inquired about the role of women, he emphasized upon some facts. He said that the primary duty of a woman to look after her household, to look after her family, to look after her children, and after she got time, she must join the movement. What I mean to say? I mean to say that Gandhi was also underlining the traditional approach of Indian society. इंडियन सोसाइटी जहां महिलाओं को घरों के अंदर रखने की बात होती है, वहां महिलाओं को एक बार में आप इस प्रकार की आजादी नहीं दे सकते हैं जहां पर उनके ऊपर इतनी बंदिशें थी। धीरे धीरे तो यहां पे गांधी वाज एड्रेसिंग द ट्रेडिशनल अप्रोच ऑफ इंडियन सोसाइटी एंड माइंडसेट। तो पुरुषों को वो शामिल कर रहे हैं। जब पुरुष यहां पे शामिल होंगे आंदोलन में तो घर में कौन होगा? तो महिलाएं। तो दोनों को आने में दिक्कत है, वो तभी हो सकती है जब दोनों की अंडरस्टैंडिंग होगी। तो गांधी वाज मूविंग अहेड towards the more and more rights granting to the women. तो इसलिए उन्होंने एक संयम बनाया, संतुलन बनाया कि पुरुष तो आएंगे ही और महिलाओं को उन्होंने अंडरमाइन कर दिया कि भाई पहले परिवार देखिए, वहां जिम्मेदारी निभा लीजिए, वहां से समय हो तो यहाँ। ऐसा नहीं हो कि दोनों बाहर आ गए तो परिवार आपका अधूरा हो जाएगा, तो फिर ये पार्टिसिपेशन भी बेमानी हो जाएगी। जब तक फैमिली सपोर्ट नहीं मिलेगी, कोई भी सत्याग्रही पूरी ईमानदारी से इसमें भाग नहीं ले सकते। देखिए कई सारे सोशल डायमेंशंस हैं। Gandhi was not a political leader. He was a social reformer. He was rather than a philosopher. तो गांधी प्रत्येक पहलू पे अपनी बात रखने की कोशिश करते हैं, डायरेक्टली और इनडायरेक्टली। उनकी हर एक्ट में एक अलग भावना होती है जो कई आयाम रखते हैं। तो यहाँ पे सिंपल ये देखना, गांधी ने कहा कि भाई महिलाएं पहले परिवार देखें, मतलब गांधी महिला विरोधी थे? नहीं। अगर ऐसी बात होती तो गांधी खुद अपने साथ कस्तूरबा गांधी को राजनीतिक मंचों पे नहीं जाता। तो यहां गांधी के इन प्रयासों को व्यापक संदर्भ में देखना होगा, बृहद पैमाने पे देखना पड़ेगा कि उस समय का सामाजिक शिष्टाचार क्या था और उस सामाजिक शिष्टाचार के तहत गांधी को काम करना था। विद्रोह करके आप समाज को जोड़ नहीं कर सकते, समाज में सुधार करना। अगर एक बार आप इसको लेके चलोगे तो क्या होगा? जो पार्टिसिपेशन है वो आपके साथ नहीं आएगी, क्योंकि आप एक सामाजिक विद्रोही के रूप में देखे जाएंगे। तो सामाजिक विद्रोह नहीं करना, सामाजिक सुधार करना। तो बच्चों यहां से भी सवाल पूछे जाते हैं, हाउ पार्टिसिपेशन ऑफ वुमेन हैज बीन सीन इन द मूवमेंट और हाउ फार द वुमेन पार्टिसिपेशन शो अ ग्रेट माइलस्टोन इन द सिविल डिसोबीडियंस मूवमेंट। नेक्स्ट अब हम लोग देखेंगे लिमिटेशंस। यहां भी लिमिटेशंस हैं, आप समझ सकते हैं। जैसे आपने देखा इंडस्ट्रियल वर्कर्स और इंडस्ट्रीज के बीच में क्लैशेस, इंटरेस्ट के क्लैशेस हैं। फिर आपने देखा लैंडलॉर्ड्स और पुअर पीजेंट्स के बीच में। तो ये क्या है? एक लिमिटेशंस की पार्ट है। लेकिन अब हम आगे पढ़ेंगे कि कैसे दो स्पेसिफिक ग्रुप जिसके कारण इस मूवमेंट को सबसे अधिक नुकसान हुआ, वो एक इशू होने वाली है, वो हिंदू मुस्लिम एकता का इशू यानी मुस्लिम पार्टिसिपेशन, और दूसरा होगा डिप्रेस्ड क्लास यानी दलितों का पार्टिसिपेशन। यहाँ पे हम विशेष रूप से चर्चा करेंगे गांधी और अंबेडकर के बीच उत्पन्न तनाव के और कैसे वो तनाव खत्म होती है और क्या-क्या घटनाएं होती हैं। परंतु याद रखना है ये दो घटनाएं, ये दो ग्रुप, मुस्लिम पार्टिसिपेशन और दलित पार्टिसिपेशन, ये सबसे बड़ी चिंता का इशू बनती है इस सिविल डिसोबीडियंस मूवमेंट में। और इसके बाद एक दलित चेतना, एक कास्ट बेस्ड पॉलिटिक्स भी यहाँ शुरू होने वाली है जो आज तक भारत की राजनीति में कायम है। थैंक यू।